Yeah, that's a no-go. Let's see here. Alright, pilot's super clogged actually. Just checking the lines here to see if those were clogged. And this one appears to be clogged. Yeah, that one's clogged. Well, I think we just blew her up. First 10 feet on the first ride. Does not kick over anymore. We're back with the 2006 Honda CRF250R. If you guys watched the last video on this bike, we bought this thing for 1,500 bucks. Picked it up from a guy that rebuilt the top and bottom end. So it has a brand new crank, bearings, seals. The top end has new valves, piston. So everything was brand new on it. And the previous owner could not get it to run. He said it would not start. So we got home, checked it all over, and found that the carburetor vent hose was clogged, the pilot jet was clogged, and I think those two things prevented this thing from starting. So we actually got this thing to fire up, and I took it for a test drive, and about 2 seconds into the test drive, this thing actually locked up tight, and it will now not kick over at all. So something let loose in the engine. I'm not sure if it was the piston, the crank, the cam chain, a valve. I have no idea. So today we're gonna tear it down and see what the heck happened. It was running good up until that point. So I have no idea what could have happened. Like I said before, brand new top and bottom end. So maybe something wasn't assembled right. Maybe something came loose. I have no idea. So we're gonna start by looking over everything, and we'll find out why this thing locked up. Very unfortunate. I thought I was getting a really good deal on this one. So last video we ended where we were checking the coolant, and the coolant looks like it's topped off. You can see all the way to the top. We checked the oil dipstick. We'll do that quick again. And the oil in the engine, this is the engine oil on this side, was perfect. Not milky, all the way to the top. So that looks perfect as well. So like I said before, I'm not sure what happened. But we are going to take off the cover here and see what we find. I'm thinking the cam chain let loose. That's kind of what it sounded like. But it could have been a valve as well. So let's get the plastics off and take a look at that first. See if that spark plug's crunched in there, and kind of go from there. So we'll check the transmission oil, see if that's milky at all. We had previously fixed the seal on the water pump that was leaking coolant out of the hole down here, which means that the seal is bad. So we replaced the seal, and we got the leak to stop. So let's just see if it was leaking into the oil. And I believe the oil pump was working because the top end had oil when we took it off the cover. So I don't think lack of oil was the problem. It's clear. Yeah, the oil looks pretty good. Super clear. So it's not milky at all. So our new seal on the water pump is holding. All right, air filter's still on there. Nice and tight, that's looking good. Let's get the spark plug out. Take a look at that. Spark plug still looks okay. It's not crunched up or anything. It's not white, so it's running okay. Here we go, let's see. Uh-oh, cam chain looks good. What the heck? Maybe something in the clutch let go. But you can see cam chain is still on there. That's pretty tight. There's no way I would have skipped a tooth. There's no up and down play at all. Huh, I thought for sure it was the cam chain. Thought maybe it came off from the sprocket down below or something. And yeah, it doesn't look like it. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Lobes look good. Not seeing any metal chunks up here or anything. We're gonna try to rotate the engine by hand. We'll take off the cap down below and try to get this thing to spin over. So we can take the cap off right here. Ooh, lots of oil spilling out. Oh, it turns this way. Feels crunchy though. Oh, you're getting stuck right there. Getting stuck right there. It might be a valve that dropped. Try to get this thing to top dead center if I can. See if the timing skipped. Nope, timing's still on. How the heck did that happen then? Valves feel pretty loose now on the exhaust side. Let's check the valves on the intake. See how those got looser? Wonder if they just dropped out. We'll check the intake. Intake valve should be 5 thousandths. Let's check those. Yeah. That one's pretty loose right here. There's a lot of play in that valve. Maybe that one dropped out. Yeah, it has a ton of play. Huh. Exhaust valves should be 10,000s. Oh yeah, those are really, really loose. Wow. So, something let loose, because those valves are all really loose now except for the one right here. Alright, let's get this coolant drained first, and then we'll get the oil drained and take off this side cover here. Maybe something came loose by the clutch. Alright, oil drain bolt for the transmission oil is right there. So there's a couple metallic flakes in there, you can see. So I wonder if something is broken in the clutch area, getting chewed up. Look at all those flakes in there. That would make sense. We saw some of those before too. All right, we'll get the impeller off first. Get this cover off. Impeller's still on there, so it's cooling down. This is reverse thread. Get that off. Now we can work on getting these bolts out. These are not very tight on here. So I wonder if this has been off before. No, they're very tight at all. Alright, any other ones? I think there's one over here probably up. I think that's all. Just a quick check. Make sure these go through. There we go. Try not to rip the gasket. Alright. Water pump. Gear, all the teeth look good on there. So far everything's looking good. You can see the 2 dots on the crank gear are lined up properly. Clutch basket looks really good. That wasn't really bent over properly. Notch. Take the washer off. Second washer on there. Everything looks good there. No teeth are broken. Bearings feel good. Starter gear is on there. Looking good. Alright, so it's either the crank or a valve. That doesn't sound very good. Sounds like something's loose, doesn't it? Yeah, it could definitely be the crank. Maybe that's what that rough sound was. The crank. Oh, that feels like a valve though right there. I feel it hitting something. Well, it's not a clutch issue. I thought maybe it would be something on the clutch side that came loose and was locking it up. Unfortunately, it's not. So, let's move on to the top end. Alright, there's quite a few metallic flakes in there, look at that. You can see them all at the bottom. So that would indicate crank, like rod bearing failure. Look at that. Look at all those. But it's a brand new crank is what I was told. So there's no way a brand new crank would fail after like 5 seconds of riding. There's no way. Doesn't hurt to check. Check this filter too. See if there's a bunch of metal in there. There's the spring. I see some metal. Yeah, there's definitely some flakes going on. They're very fine flakes, but you can see them on the towel. Yeah, not good. Yeah, look at that. Look at all those coming out. So that's gotta be the crank that went. So many gaskets on it. Yeah, look at all the metal up in here. There's no way that happened after the first ride. Bunch of flakes in there. That's awesome. Alright, there's a little filter underneath here. We can check the filter screen in here. Yeah, a couple chunks on there. Those are on there pretty tight. So longer ones towards the exhaust bolts. Those don't look too worn. Look pretty good. Looks good. Alright, let's get this tensioner off of here. Tensioner feels good. No slack at all in there. So that definitely did not give out at all. Chain off of here. Let's let that drop down. Alright, taking a look at the cam. Sprocket, that looks good. Bearings on the cam are smooth. Lobes look really good. Not squared off, nice and round. And the decompression mechanism Looks good. So cam looks really good. All right. Put the buckets here. Let's see if they push in. That one pushes down. Ooh. That one does not push down at all. Let's get these buckets out. Let's get the nuts off of here. There's 4 of them. Taking these off, you want to go in a crisscross pattern. You don't want to warp the head here. Alright, and then one more. Hopefully. There we go. To get out. Alright. I think we got her. Not a whole lot of room in there. Oh yeah. Valves are bent. It looks like valves hit the piston. Looks like a new piston though. Gasket off. Right there, it got hit. Right there. Yeah, it got hit a couple different places. What the heck? The piston let go? What the heck? Oh boy, this is worse than I thought. I think the piston's just free floating in there. Let's get the cylinder off. Wow. The piston just pushed down without rotating the crank, it looked like. I think the piston's like just free floating. That would be crazy. That would mean the crank rod just broke. There's no way. Let's see what's going on. That would be absolutely insane. Oh. What the heck? What the heck? Well, the piston came with the cylinder. You've got to be kidding me. Look at that. Wow, I have never seen that before. Holy. Oh, look at the damage to the cylinder. Oh, what the heck? That's way worse than I thought. So that just let loose. What in the world happened? What kind of piston is that? It says VP on the back right here. I wonder if it's just a cheapy piston. Let's see what type of cylinder. I don't know, it's just stamped on the bottom here. See if I can get this gasket off. We'll take a look and see what type of cylinder that is. It looks like the stock one to me. But man, let's see if the crank is still good. Or if it was even new. You can see a couple chunks in there. Oh. Yeah, this thing just got destroyed. Here's a chunk. That's why we see all the metallic flakes. Yeah, big chunks in there. Wow. That is insane. Oh, rod is just bent completely. Holy cow. That is really bad. Yeah, rod is just completely bent. Crank is junk. Holy man, is that bad. Yeah, so this whole engine is junk. The little oil squirter is bent. Check that out. Right there. And look at how bad that's bent. Look at the rod, the top of the rod. It just sits like this. It should be straight. Look at that. What the heck happened here? Rod doesn't have any play in it, but obviously that's junk because it's bent now, which really sucks. You can't even get that pin out. It's so bent. Oh. Yeah, rod feels good. No up and down play at all. But like I said, that thing's bent. So, unfortunately, crank is junk then. Man, oh man, that is really bad. So, piston is just horrible. Then it bent the valves. You can see. So I'm guessing all these valves are bent. Yup. Every single valve is bent. Huh. No damage to the head. Doesn't look like. But we'll see what it looks like on the bottom of the valves. Wow. That's pretty bad. That is really, really bad. But yeah, cylinder is just completely toast. That is a huge gouge. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a piston just free floating in the cylinder before like that. Wow, wow, wow. That's way worse than expected. So all this happened from 2 seconds of riding. Crazy. So I'm not entirely sure what failed first, but I'm thinking it must have been the piston. So I'm thinking the piston let loose, and then the crank got bent, pushed the piston up, bent the valves, and the rest was history, I think. So I'm guessing the piston was the weak point on this thing. And this thing only ran for maybe 5 to 10 minutes of letting it just idle and rev up a little bit. And then literally 2 seconds after it put it in gear, it locked up. So it just blew the whole cylinder apart basically. Just crazy. So obviously the bottom end has to come out. So let's get the chain off, cam chain or something, because it was pretty noisy when we were idling it, but I didn't think it was, you know, a piston just rattling around in there. That can be a little tricky. There we go. Yep. I think we can take this thing out. Now it should come out. Challenging. Alright. Alright, engine is out of the frame. Let's start tearing this thing down. I just can't believe that that rod is that bent. Holy cow. So, got the bearing right here for the clutch. Put that over here. Kickstart mechanism coming out. So shifter can come off. Alright, shift rod can pull out of here. There's a washer on there as well. Get that off. Got the bolt, washer, gear. Looks like this gear comes off too. That just goes like that. Washer underneath the nut. You get the little gear. Whole thing should pull right off of here. Just like that. So, gotta get the sprocket off. Hopefully we have the correct puller for it. washer and the nut. The flywheel. Let's see if we have a puller. All right, found a puller. There's the flywheel. That came right off. We'll get that woodruff key out of there. Nothing's broken here. That's good. Cam chain guide coming off. Cam chain looks good. Doesn't bind at all. So it looks like cam chain was probably new. Woodruff key out of here. There's a woodruff key. Alright. Counterbalance gear shaft here. That came right out. Some oil pump gear. Alright, let's split these cases. Alright, not coming apart super easily. Sometimes you just get a whack right here. Here. There's a piece of the piston. Jeez. Gasket. Transmission looks good. No broken teeth anywhere. Yeah, crank is a little rough. Let's see how the bearings are. That bearing feels good. That one feels good. That bearing feels good. That bearing feels good. So I'm guessing all the bearings were replaced at one point. That's got some metal shavings in there. Oh man. Oh, there's the piston circlip. Looks like there's water down in here. Huh. Bunch of parts from the piston here. That one's a sharp one. Yeah, lots of pieces. Yeah, that sucks. Pretty sure that piston failed first. Let's try to get this crank out of here. Tie off these transmission. There's the crank. You can see how bent that is. That is crazy. But yeah, rod bearing feels good. What kind of crank was this? Doesn't say. If you guys know in the comments, let me know. It's a 616 on it. And then TJ28 right there. Crank bearing feels really good. Those were definitely replaced. Those feel perfect. Big chunks of piston in here. Yeah, not good. Not good at all. So we'll have to clean this whole case up and take the transmission out. At least the case didn't get damaged. I don't know how it didn't. Alright, the little oil squirter right there got bent. Let's get that off. Yeah, we can see that cracked right in half. Yeah, everything with this case half looks pretty good. No cracked case. Little dings here and there, but nothing serious. So, we lucked out there. There we go. You can see the cylinder just completely toast. Huh. That did a lot of damage. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm not sure if the circlip let loose first. So looking at the piston, has these markings on it, 21 through 16, 31923, 77.96. So 78 is standard bore. So, and VP on there, I believe that's a Vertex piston stamp. So it's a nice piston. Not sure why that failed. So I didn't find any markings on here, on the bottom, on the sides. Looks like all the stock markings. I believe this is a Hot Rods crank based on the color. It just looks like it from the pictures I've seen on eBay. But really no markings on here either. Alright, I think this is the bent valve right here. One of them. Oh boy, there we go. Pop free. See if this thing pushes out of here. Gonna have to pound it out. Alright, so the seat isn't damaged at all. That's good, that's what I was looking for. But you can see how bent the valve is. Really bent. So, very bent. Very, very bent. Let's take one of the intakes out. Alright, let's see if this one's stuck in there. Ooh. Alright, guides aren't damaged. Seats aren't damaged. So that's all looking good. Luckily. So head looks fine. At least we don't have to buy a new head. But check out this valve. Every single one. I mean, they're pretty bad. This turned out to be a lot worse than I thought. Looks like we need a new crank, new piston, new cylinder, new cam chain, new valves. So it's going to be probably right around $1,000 to fix this bike. I'm not sure what the failure point was. I'm thinking the piston went first, took out the crank, took out the valves. I did hear a little noise in the engine, so I'm not sure what that was when I was kicking it over, because the rod bearing seems good, no up and down play at all, crank bearings were good, cam chain was tight. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video of the teardown and figuring out what the heck happened to this bike. Definitely interesting tearing it down and seeing what happened and the damage it caused. So now we wait for parts, and we'll have to rebuild it. So stay tuned for next video, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And until next time, we are out.